Hi, I'm Dr. Rosmizi here. These slides will discuss Buddhist ethics and law. First, this section will discuss human nature and the purpose of life. In their reflections on the religious life, Buddhists have affirmed both human equality and human difference. They have, however, generally seen human equality as being of greater spiritual significance. All humans have the capacity of becoming awakened, regardless of their social location, but of lesser social significance. So this point states that in Buddhism they see human beings differently, and that human beings have both equality and difference, and they have positive aspects for this. So next, Buddhists have emphasized the importance of acknowledging human inequality for the life of virtue. For example, the 2nd century Indian Buddhist thinker Nagarjuna said in the letter to a king, as you can read here, it is presumptive pride for one to presume that one is equal to someone who is better. If one presumes oneself to be even better than one's betters, then this is pride before pridefulness. Again, this is about inequality. Buddhists have consistently emphasized human difference in organizing their communities. These communities have historically been organized quite hierarchically, standards of worth and prestige organizing the relations between monks and lay people, men and women, old and young, powerful and oppressed. Buddhists have different ideas about a person because the conventional idea is unable to see the big picture or the reality of things. So this point emphasizes that Buddhism or Buddhists, they emphasize the difference in their communities. So they arrange their communities in their own ways. So there are lay people, there are monks. And Buddhists also believe that conventional idea about a person, about human beings, still unable to see the real picture, the big picture of the reality of things. So this, like parable of blind man and elephant. So blind man just only can understand elephant based on their limited senses. If they touch this one, they say elephant like this. If they touch that one, they say elephant is like that. But they cannot see the big picture of elephant because they're blind. So the same is true about conventional conception of a person. It is not that they are always wrong in and of themselves. They are wrong either because they fail to see the big picture or because they are connected to a delusional big picture. So this point says that the conventional, the normal conception of person are still not accurate, still not precise. It is not able to grasp, to present the reality, the big picture of that things, or it is still connected with a delusional, that is not real, big picture. Buddhists are in surprising agreement about what is this delusional big picture is. It is the wrong view that assumes without supporting ideas that there is a unitary and enduring personal entity, whether this is defined as a self or a soul. This means that from Buddhist perspective, so what is this delusional big picture? So from Buddhist perspective, it is wrong view to claim that there is unitary and enduring personal entity. So Buddhism does not accept the idea of unitary and enduring personal entity, whether it is called as self or soul. So according to the teaching of the Buddha, the idea of the self is an imaginary, false belief which has no corresponding reality, and it produces harmful thoughts of me and mine, selfish desire, craving, attachment, hatred, ill will, conceit, pride, and all sort of bad character. So it is the source of all troubles in the world, from personal conflict to wars between nations. In short, to this false view can be traced all the evil in the world. So this quotation shows that from Buddhist perspective, the idea of self, of soul, is regarded as false beliefs, as imaginary, as not true, because it argues that when one believes that there is a self, and then it will lead to harmful thoughts of me and mine, this is mine, then self-desire, craving, and all of these are the source of troubles in this world. If Buddhists agree about what a person is not, that is, person is not stable, person is not enduring, and this person is not unitary, they are in less agreement about what larger backdrop conception of a person should be placed. So now all these points argue that Buddhists agree that person is not stable, not enduring, and there is no unitary self, no soul, no self. So one general backdrop is karma, the process of moral cause and effect, in which one gets good for doing good and gets bad for doing bad. So Buddhism believes in karma. It is the process of moral cause and effect. That is, one's action will bring effect. Good action will bring good effect. Bad action will bring bad effect in this world. One's present nature is determined by the effect of one's previous actions. So this is also the idea of karma samsara. One's present nature is determined by the effects of one's previous actions. That is, from Buddhist perspective, one's present nature, one's present conditions, one's present fate is determined by the effect of one's previous actions. That is, it depends on one's previous actions. There are actions in the past. So the actions in the past will determine the future. So this is the idea of karma. Okay? There is human action will determine his future life. This because Buddhism, like Hinduism, still believe in karma, samsara, and rebirth, because they believe in rebirth, that human being will be reborn again and again based on their previous actions. So their future condition will be determined by the previous actions. So can read Nagarjuna, the quotation from Nagarjuna. The first line of these verses also makes it clear that the working of karma assumes that persons, like all beings, are reborn again. Okay? So Buddhism affirms that human being will be reborn again and again. It is thus critical that one views one's present life as a person within the bigger picture of samsara, the cycle of birth and death in which beings repeatedly experience the suffering they produce for themselves because they misperceive their own nature and the nature of the world around them. So this point affirms that Buddhism believes in rebirth, believes in karma, samsara. And Buddhist argues that persons, humans, will be reborn again and again because they misperceive, they misunderstand their nature and the nature of the world, because they cannot grasp, they cannot see the real big picture of reality of things. This is a dialogue between king and Buddhist monk about reality of things, to show that there is no stable unitary self. It's about the chariot. Yeah, so can read this. So he asked, please explain to me what a chariot is. Is it the pole, the chariot? Is it the axle, the wheels, the framework? Which one? Then you give the answers no, none of them. So please read at the end. What is the conclusion? The conclusion is that there is no stable thing called as chariot. It is just the designation, the conceptual term that is given as chariot, and that's also like human being, the self. There is no stable unitary self according to Buddhism. It's only the name, the designation given to someone. But in fact, they are the constitution, the combination of different things, different parts. Just like a car. Okay? To give another example from this perspective, Buddhist perspective, there is no real self of car. It is just a combination of steering, engine, doors, tires, cushion, and so on. Then we give the name car. So that just designation, the names that is given to that things, which comprises of many different parts, and we call it as a car. Okay? That's an example of this perspective, Buddhist perspective about no unitary self, no stable self. A man told the Buddha, "I want contentment." The Buddha replied, "Remove the I, remove the want, and there will be contentment." So no I, no self, unitary, no self, stable self, no, and don't have that craving want. Then if you can erase this too, then you can attain contentment from this quotation. What goes along with this conception of a person is a profound sense of the impermanence and mutability of persons. And as Daisaku Ikeda says, in Buddhism it is taught that one mind fluctuates 840 million times a day. The alteration change in one's life are, in other words, infinite. One's life is a succession of momentary instances of hot, cold, dark, twilight, sadness, and other conditions. So this point just to affirm that there is no stable self. It is impermanence, immutability. This person is not permanent. That person keep changing. So the 10 words of 10 states of life. So we can see the 6 paths, the 4 noble paths, and so on. So this is just the 10 words of cosmology. All the previous examples that we see emphasize, okay, from Buddhist perspective, the need to understand, the need to have a proper understanding of oneself, one's true nature. This understanding of our true nature is at odds with what we ordinarily think. It's different. It is precisely these received ideas about the integrity of an individual's nature and experience that are conventionally held by both Buddhists and non-Buddhists that prevent us from living ethically and cause us to experience suffering despite of all our best intentions. So this point says that it's because we still entangled with conventional belief about ourselves, about nature. Then because of that, we still cannot live ethically, we still cannot achieve success, we still cannot avoid from suffering, and so on.